Hi guys, welcome to Hannah's Backyard. So today is planting day. I'm pretty excited about it, also still pretty nervous about it. As you can see behind me, some things are starting to grow. So the rabbit issue is getting to be less and less, but I still do have some rabbits in here that are causing havoc. But for the most part, things are growing. That being said, I'm super nervous to put my tomatoes and peppers and cucumbers and whatnot out today, but that's the goal and that's the plan. So it's a little bit overcast, cooler day, so I figured it'd be a good, perfect day, Memorial Day weekend, to get them in. This is probably the latest I've planted in the last 2 years, but I think everything will be just fine. The last 3 years I've actually had a frost after I planted, so this way I shouldn't have to worry about it at all. But come along and yeah, let's get this garden planted. Okay, so this section we have 12 California Wonders, and then we're gonna have 5 like snacking. So Tangerine Dream, Blot, I think they're called, Purple Beauty. I'm gonna have to look to see for sure which ones I'm actually planting. But for now, let's plant these California Wonders. I'll show you up close. So these are the California Wonders that I started from seed. They're a little bit more wet than I like to transplant them, but I had them sitting out, what's the word I'm looking for? Hardening them off, and it rained yesterday, and yeah, last night, yesterday afternoon, like quite a bit, to be honest. So they're definitely a little bit more wet, but they're ready to come out. At least I know they've had a rain on them, because it is supposed to rain this evening. But yeah, they're dripping wet, so should be fun to pop them in. They're a little easier to come out when they're drier, but okay. So if you've been here for a while, you know that tomato cages for me are for peppers, and the trellises, cattle panels are for tomatoes. These can handle peppers, but they cannot handle tomatoes here. What you do in your yard, I mean, maybe you have no issues, but for me, my tomatoes get too big, so. Now for my peppers, I do not bury them any deeper than the 2 bottom leaves. Tomatoes, I'll bury them at the top. That came out pretty good. One done. Alright, so I'll bring you in to do a kind of a close-up. So what I do is, normally I do not have the tomato cages on first, but with the rabbit problem, I was trying to scare things out of here, so I set them in place. So really all I'm doing, you can see it's a little sticky because of the rain we just got, but this is basically all the manure, compost that we put on top, and once you get down a little bit farther, you get into the actual dirt. So I'm basically planting in the compost, but the roots get down in the dirt. So I just make a hole. This is just what's working for me right now. I give it just a little bit of tap. I try not to squeeze them too much. You can see just how wet that is. But there's my roots. Just gonna set it down in there, give it a little push, and just cover it back up. Super easy. So because this is a lot of like organic matter, a lot of compost on the top, it does dry out fast. So by planting it wet, I think it's gonna take a little bit better, less shock for the plants. So yeah, that's how I'm planting my peppers. Well, everything really. Okay guys, so I got the garden planted. It took Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Well, Sunday it rained all day, so I hoed a little bit, but you can't really even tell because with the rain, everything wanted to stand back up. So this section over here, I did put the tarp to help control the weeds because I planted sweet corn here, and I'm gonna wait 3 weeks to plant it over in this area. So I figured I'll just cover at least some of this and get the weeds to die back and just so nothing grows back. And so everything else is fully planted. You can see the tomatoes here on the right. I have a row of russets and a row of red potatoes. I can't remember the exact variety, but it's a red potato. It's not a red Lesota. It's a different one. On the right side of this first trellis, I have long pie pumpkins, and I figure by the time the plants get super big, I can let them crawl back over here into the corn because the corn should be done. And then on this side, I have the Jardale, I believe that's what they're called, which is more of a bluish type pumpkin. And then I have some broccoli. These right here, this clump, is potatoes that came back from last year, and they're on the inside row of the corn, so I'm gonna leave them. Broccoli and the Brussels sprouts, they are coming back even though the rabbits ate them. And then on this trellis, I have a mystery pack of seeds that was from M.I. Gardner, and I believe it was a mystery melon. I'm pretty sure they're going to be very large watermelon because the plants themselves are much larger than the other melon plants I started. So this could be an interesting experiment. Here I have all my California Wonders. There's 12 of them. They come down to this set of gray trellises. And then these 6 here, I have 2 banana peppers, a tangerine dream, a blot, B-L-O-T, blot, and then 2 purple dreams. The tomatoes are in there with marigolds in between. My ox heart, which is on the other side, let's see. In that area is not looking the greatest, so I might have to replace it. That is the only ox heart I have. Here I have the French fingerlings. They are the first row, and it's hard to see, but there's 2 right there. That is a row of Magic Molly, which is also a fingerling variety. Here is my melon trellis. And so I have the Kajaris, the Benji Comedia, something like that. Lemon drop and Kajari melons are on there. Here are my cabbages, Filderkraut, I think it is. So rabbits are still kind of wreaking havoc, but they're finally starting to get some mass to them. This is supposed to be cauliflower. I don't think there's any more purple ones at this point. The rabbits ate all of them. And Annalise, I believe is how you say that, tomato. Annalise Nior, I got from M.I. Gardner. I got 2 of those plants on this side. On the other side is a Sartre Relais. And the Sartre Relais, I had the hardest time growing them from seed. I started 3. I do have 3. I just gave the last one away. And they were weak looking the entire time, but let me tell you, after I got them in the ground, they look like they doubled in size. So they like soil. They liked being in the ground, I should say, not in a pot. And then this trellis here is a cherry tomato, 1 on each side. I had a variety pack from Botanical Gardens. Each seed was colored, a different color for each variety. One of the colors was orange and one of the colors was blue. I don't remember which is which. I'll figure it out when they grow. And here I have a red cabbage that was from Baker Creek. They're also a cone-sized shape. You can see the damage the rabbit has done. For some reason, it has not touched this one. Is it because the marigold is right next to it? I don't know, because right there's a marigold and they ate the cabbage or the cauliflower. So I don't know what, there's no rhyme or reason. Here's the celery. The rabbits are finally starting to leave it alone. You can tell there's one missing that's eaten, and they pulled it straight out the ground, so it's not coming back. All of these they've just been nibbling on, and now they're starting to really grow. This is the cucumber trellis. On this side towards me we have the Wisconsin pickler, and then the Parisian, I think. On the other side we have a clump of straight 8, Natsu Fusili. Oh my gosh, do not quote me on this. I don't know, but it's a variety I haven't grown in like 3 years, but I did really like it. It's really long, thinner cucumber. And then I also have the Tanja, which is from Jung's Seeds. So here I have a row of basil, blue spice basil with the Genovese. There's 2 on the inside. I had these hardening off for a couple weeks now, but I had them up on the porch, which I didn't even think about it, but the maple tree got leaves, so eventually they did not get enough sunlight. So they did bleach a little bit, but they'll be okay. Right here in this row, I have wasabi radishes, which was from Baker Creek. It was a free sample that I got last year. I finally planted them. The rabbit has not touched these. Right there is 2 rows of radishes. The rabbits also have not touched those. They've eaten my carrots 3 times, but you can see they are coming back, which is okay. And here is the onions that I've replanted twice because of the rabbits. And none of them are what I started from seed. I had to buy. They ate all the ones I started from seed, along with that side, which is all of a red onion. Those were all different varieties that I've started from seed, but now they're just a red onion. And then I have kale. There's not much of it. The rabbits like to eat it all. Here is my garlic. This is the best garlic I've ever grown in my life. It is music variety and the German white, I believe it was called. But I think I finally added enough manure in the fall and compost and then fertilizer. There is still a little bit of yellow tips, but this is much healthier than I've ever grown in the past. And this is just kind of more of a perennial type garden, except for this section here. I have some gladiolas, which I'll have to remove. Parsley, there's some straw flowers, so just kind of a little bit of variety. My irises are blooming, the roses are growing. Let me go back to this other side. Alright, this is this side of the garlic. Still looking good. Onions. Here's kale, some sunflowers that came up on their own. Blue dazzle kale. Dino kale. Rabbits like that. Cilantro. They won't touch that. My Swiss chard, which is in the middle there, was double its size. They ate that last night. This is what's left. Butter crunch. Lettuce, hot peppers, more hot peppers, lettuce that the rabbits ate like 9 times. It's finally starting to come back, but now they're eating it again. And then here in the center, I have curly leaf parsley and another curly leaf parsley. A couple cabbages I just randomly threw in here. White zucchini, black beauty zucchini, sunflowers that came up on their own. In this section here, I have canna lilies. They're not red, they're the green variety. I can't remember what color the actual flowers are. It's hard to see because there's a lot of weeds here, but there is 4 carnation plants that I'm gonna let grow here this year, and then I'm gonna put them in a flower bed for next year around my greenhouse, which is not done yet, but will be. Here I have 3 rows of zinnias. And then we're back to the potatoes and where the corn's gonna be. So there's that. Here is my greenhouse. It's not done yet, obviously. We just painted the frame. I got it black. I'm gonna put galvanized around the bottom. You can see these 2x4s here. From here down is gonna be galvanized steel, or is it steel? Galvanized tin, or panels. On the back side, facing to the north, is gonna be galvanized. On the inside of this back wall, I'm gonna do black tin. And then I got a door here, windows, 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 and a door there. And then I got the roof. I just gotta put it all on. So back wall is gonna be insulated, hoping more for like thermal mass to keep it warm in there. I am gonna end up getting a little diesel heater that we'll put in there somewhere. And then I also, just more for myself, I'm gonna put a little wood burner in there. So like, in the winter, you can go in there and just sit and chill. But I'm gonna put a 2-foot bed by 12-foot here. You're good. Anyway, I'm gonna put that there, and then here I'm gonna do a flower bed, put this gravel, so not flower bed. And then on the other side, I'm gonna do the same thing. So that is the tour. Oh, and then over on that garden, I have flowers. So I'm getting out of the rain now.